everyone, and welcome back to Equilinox, where our little world has been evolving under our fingertips, and our animal populations are beginning to spread, which is making me so happy. Just look at our little bouncing sheep. Our original herd of sheep is still carrying in on 4 generations now. But their little land hasn't really changed and grown that much, so I do want to figure out more ways that we can make their lands more diverse and even more fascinating. I think for these guys, adding in some button mushrooms will actually help, but the button mushrooms prefer being at a lower altitude. Is that low enough for it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Look at all the other cool mushrooms you can evolve them into. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be amazing. But today, as much as I think mushrooms are beautiful and fascinating, and the fungi family is quite interesting at the way it can decompose nutrients and provide it as a accessible resource for other species. If you can't tell, I think mushrooms are a really cool little dude, basically. We are going to be focusing not on mushrooms, but on the waterways, trying to do the gone fishing task, which is going to really keep us busy because it is going to ask us to have 4 trout in the world, 4 redfish in the world, 4 kelp in the world, and 4 water lily in the world. So we need to create a complete underwater ecosystem, and that's going to be a little bit more complex than the other things we've done. But if we want to get a lot of discovery points in DP so we can start really selectively breeding our creatures and making them quite cool, we're going to need a lot of animals. And what breeds faster than fish? I mean, there's so many fish in the sea for a reason, right? So, all right, what do we need for our fish? Let's come over. The trout is a small fish, and it is a small freshwater fish that lives in the rivers and lakes of Equilinox. It swims around aimlessly most of the time and is often hunted by larger fish. It needs to have some water plants in its habitat in order to survive. So what do we need? Its natural habitat is a riverbed. It is unsuitable for tropical habitat. It dislikes tropical seaweed, and it likes water plants, and it flees from predators. So what do we have here? We have a bit of a riverbed mixed with a bit of a grassland. I think that we can go ahead and turn this into more of a riverbed. Let's get more seaweed in here. Hopefully that'll help. And then we might want to consider selectively breeding some of this seaweed to become water lilies, actually. We need redfish in order to do that. Noted. So little trout, this is going to be a little hard for you. Here, let's make it daytime, which will give us more DP to work with as well. And that way, we're going to have to try to breed our little trout. All right, there we go. Almost there. Hopefully our sheep species are doing well. They've got new mushrooms growing in, which is great. There we go. Now things are a little easier to see. But let's grab the trout. Oh, it's so teensy. Hi, little one. You don't get a name because I guess you're a trout, and that's why you don't get a name. But we can turn these guys into redfish if we give them the color trait to selectively breed for pink and then have that go over time. And we need kelp nearby. So we need to increase the size, and we need to have large rocks down in the riverbed, and that will actually help kelp to take root. So then the species of seaweed that are in here would start selectively growing over time, and they would start choosing, like the ones that would survive and would end up passing on their genes would be ones that were near rocks and enjoying the large rocks. So let's put down, do I just need normal rocks? I like that that's a thing. So we want 2 large rocks nearby. Does it matter which one? Probably not. So I'm going to put in brown rocks and see what happens. And we'll add a couple of those. Is that good enough? What do you think? Somehow those didn't count. So unfortunately the brown rock didn't count. What about this one? Which used up like all of, yay! Okay, so the normal color rock counts. Look at our little fish, our little trout are checking it out. That rhymed, I'm sorry. I think that puns are kind of cute personally. And then we want to try to selectively breed for larger. So we want to change the size, and we want to try to increase it to make the kelp be a little bigger. So we're gonna need about 2,000 discovery points for that. Okay. Let's go ahead. Speed things up just a little bit till we get to 2,000. And then we'll check in on our animal populations in just a minute. They must be going up because we're at 1,000 a minute on our discovery point. So I think our animal populations are spreading, my friends. Oh, and look, you can see how there's just a little bit of variation and mutation in each of the species. So this one is already a little bigger. That's fascinating. So if I want to choose somebody who is actually already larger, then increasing this by 2 more does not cost me as much as if I came over and I had tried to increase this one that was 2 smaller. So that I would have had to spend 6 increases worth of discovery points, whereas with this one it was already naturally a little bit of a bigger piece of seaweed, so now its prodigy might end up being a little larger as well. And we need to have its prodigy be bigger because we have to choose a piece of seaweed that is 1.04 times larger than usual in order to evolve it into kelp. And we might end up with some of them, like through leaving things alone over time. Some of them might be a little bit bigger, like this guy's bigger too. That guy's smaller. This guy is a little bit bigger than usual. We could have ended up with that naturally over time, but like we now have a baby trout. Look at that. So eventually this guy might naturally over time go from his natural color to like a pinkish tone, perhaps through little mutations, but faster just to spend the discovery points and do it ourselves. But that's interesting to see because I wonder if that means in the future, if you want to change the color and they're already like, say red, if it's cheaper to go from red to yellow, then of course it would be because it would just be the difference, I think. Then it would be to go from neutral to yellow fish. So you can kind of look for them and choose the ones that are already veering towards that mutation. That's so cool. Okay, where was I? Sorry, I got a little overexcited. Here, this one is large enough. Yes, start breeding. We can start working on making kelp. This is so awesome. Let's go ahead and speed it up. We'll check in on our chickens and everybody else in a little bit. And boom, we have successfully evolved kelp. Let's put it over here. I hope that worked. Is that my kelp? I didn't mean to put it over there, but hopefully it'll be happy there. And we have kelp, you guys. All right, let's put down a couple more. A kelp more, maybe. Sorry, couldn't help myself. All right, so we're gonna put down a few more kelp, and they're probably gonna want more rocks. So I'm gonna put down another rock. And if we want the kelp to spread, we're gonna need to sprinkle some rocks around, which is important to note. Let's speed it up. Oh, look at the kelp. This is so cool. We'll speed it through the night, and then we'll check on everything after the night has gone by. And you can see all of our little fish are really multiplying in there. That's so fun. All right, daytime is coming, and we'll check and see how have things changed now that we've got kelp in the mix. Oh, and you can see the grass is starting to come down to the riverside. Look at that, guys. Oh, wow. And look at how this has changed. There used to be all these trees up on this ridge, and now they're actually moving down into chicken land. How's chicken land doing? Pretty good. They seem to be keeping themselves in balance. They're not spreading past here because this is where the wheat stays, and they don't like trees. We've got a few mushrooms starting to climb their way around this side. Oh, that sheep just died and left behind to bear the 5th generation that we have had of those little sheep. That's amazing. We haven't even checked in on our wobbly tree from last time either. You can see all of this kelp. Hopefully it will spread as well. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. And now I think we can actually come over and we can try breeding for the redfish, but we have to have a trout that is naturally pink first. So let's try to go ahead. We're gonna buy the natural selection for pink on 2 of them. And maybe we'll just have a whole bunch of pink trout. That'd be really cute. But I want to see if we end up with pink trout as a result. So this is going really well. How are things over on the wobbly tree side? How are things in the rest of the world? Grass patches are spreading. We've got seaweed spreading a little bit. If we wanted to spread kelp, like I want to turn this into a tropical sea, so I want to move carefully on that. And we do, we have a brown sheep named Pongo. But look at this, we only have one brown sheep, unfortunately. And he has not successfully passed on that brown trait that we gave to 2 sheep over here. However, we do have a whole bunch of blue daisies, which makes me quite happy that they're still here. I sort of want to, like, have all of the blue daisies replace the white daisies, but that would be a little tricky to do. So it doesn't look like our brown sheep are holding in there, and it doesn't look like we have a wobbly tree. We evolved one, so we should have had one, but it didn't seem to take. So we did unlock it, but it didn't seem to survive in this area. Maybe the sheep ate it, who knows? And we have a whole bunch of mushrooms, which is really fun. I actually think they've like shifted color a little bit. What colors can you be as a little mushroom? Natural. They seem to, oh, you can make purple mushrooms. A whole land of purple mushrooms would be so cool. And I guess if I want to replace the color of the daisies, I can come on in because it's not very expensive and just like buy a few more blue daisies to try to encourage the blues to take over. That's fun. All right. Yeah, I want to get a little bit more dramatic too, which means higher numbers. Oh, hey, this guy looks pink. Are you naturally pink? This one's a pink one. Yes. Okay, now we can start breeding for the redfish. I just really feel like having a bunch of fish would be a good direction to go for getting that DP kind of building up naturally over time. Let's see. And I'm gonna need a lot more DP. So let's speed up and see if we can get a redfish. Because I'm pretty sure a bunch of flashy little fish will, yay! We've evolved a redfish! Oh, that's so exciting. I hope I put him in the right part of the water. Hi, little guy. I hope you have lots of babies. I'll put down another one to try to help you out with that. And from the redfish, you can evolve pike and clownfish. And you can also change the color of the redfish to not be red, which is pretty awesome. That's so cool. I hope we get a bunch of pink trout in here too, which we might because we selectively changed 2 of them. All right, so where are we on the gone fishing? We need 4, oh, redfish, and we need 4 water lily. Oh my gosh, I think we're about to like work on that. Okay, because to get the water lily, we need 2 redfish. On it. Boom. Okay, now we have 2 redfish in here. So we want to grab, let's see, nearby species 2 redfish. Okay, altitude's right. Okay, now I need the DP. This little kelp piece, go, go, go! Don't die! Hang in there, little kelp. Don't get too eaten and don't die. Oh, it died! No! Continue evolving. As long as the redfish stick around. I think they already had a baby. Then we should end up, yay, with a water lily! There we go! A species has evolved. We have successfully evolved a water lily. And let's put it over here if it wants to be on the surface. There we go, guys. This is so exciting. All right, let's speed things up again. I worry they don't have enough kelp down there, so I might want to spread more rocks. Look at the water lily grow. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, there's another one. I love water lilies so much, you guys. So this is very exciting to just see them go. And we have now completed the gone fishing aspiration, and we actually have a ton of pink trout swimming about. That is wonderful. Let's add in some rocks all over here, just like in little clusters, which I really like, to try to encourage the kelp to continue to spread, and snag this reward. Boom. And now we have unlocked 2 new tasks, totally quackers and tropical waters, which I think are going to have us be busy with ducks. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so cool. And you can make a jungle. Yes, that's awesome. And then we also have tropical waters to have tropical seaweed in the world and clownfish. So that would be really, really fun too. So we've made ourselves our tiny little pond. It's doing great. It's got a bunch of chickens who live next to it, whose population is kind of held in check a little. I think it'd be fun to try to encourage the wheat to spread over here, honestly. Oh, and we do want to have our wobbly trees somewhere too. So let's actually slow down for just a second. This is so cool. We have a tiny little population of sheep over here. It doesn't seem like there's enough, in my opinion. Maybe I can spread some wheat over here as well. I like that idea. So let's make like a little rocky soil outcrop. I like having enough. There we go. And we'll put down 3 wheat right there. I like having enough DP that we can actually do stuff now. And I could make really, really big wheat. That actually sounds kind of cool. Let's try to selectively breed it just to make it a little bigger than normal. I know that seems like, why would you do that, Seri? There's other things to focus on right now. But I just think that's kind of fun to specifically set it up, and then we'll come back and we'll see if maybe over time that selective mutation that we set held or if it changed. And can we evolve it into anything? Yeah, I don't think you can evolve wheat into anything, but we did want to get that wild mint at some point, and it needs to be in a very grasslandy area. And what about oregano? Oregano needs to be in muddy. What? Oh, the color of the grass needs to be mud green in order to turn into oregano, and it needs to have a bunch of mushrooms near it. That's cool. I love this. This is so fun. And it's so detailed. And now we have our little pond over here that we can come back to, and we can see if it's got just nothing but, it looks like nothing but pink trout now. So pink trout were the dominant ones, and they're already a little bigger. Yeah, look, they're just a teensy bit bigger. 1.01 than normal trout, 1.03. And maybe we'll make small, tiny redfish. And we've got the water lilies all about. They can't evolve into anything, but they're beautiful and I love them. And I think you can even change their color. Look at that. We can make a bunch of white ones or black ones in the jungle. That would be really fun. Okay, there we go. This one's not gonna live much longer. Hang in there, buddy. There you go, little redfish. And our sheep haven't really spread, so it's interesting. If you don't encourage the environment, if you really spam the plants, I think you'll get that spread. But if you don't, then the animals can't really spread either. So this is going to be fun. But all right, guys, so if you could please leave a like to pluck one of our lovely, lovely water lilies and enjoy the new little lake that we made. Maybe you guys have some fun ideas for what we could name it. And if you have not yet subscribed, do please consider doing so to join us as our world continues to evolve. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.